Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Today, we're going to be talking about medians and centroids. So, we're going to quickly go over the definition and then we're going to go through an example of finding it. So, a median, in this non data management kind of context, a median is a segment connecting the vertex of a triangle to the midpoint of the opposite side. So, let's try to contextualize that. A segment connecting the vertex of a triangle to the midpoint of the opposite side. So, what's the vertex of a triangle? Well, for example, if we have just some random triangle here and here's a vertex, and then we want to connect it to the midpoint of the opposite side, right? So let's say this is our midpoint of the opposite side. What we're asking is this segment here, it would be the median, right? We're taking one of the vertices and we're saying we're going to connect that vertex to the middle, right? That midpoint of the opposite side. Good. Okay. Now, what about a centroid? A centroid is the point where all the medians intersect. So here's the first median. Here's another median. It would look like this. And then here's another median. It would look like this. And so this midpoint here, that's our centroid, because that's the point in the middle where every vertex, not every vertex, where every median with every vertex to the corresponding opposite side connects, where they meet. And so that's just kind of basic definitions there. I just wanted to kind of show a quick example of what do we mean when we say the median. Okay. So now that we have that out of the way, let's go ahead and try an example. This one says, find the equation of the median from the vertex A, from the triangle connected by the vertices -6, 33, B is 24, 7, and C is -12, -5. Okay, so this is basically the point that connects point A, right, from vertex A to the midpoint of B and C. So I think maybe to find that, maybe it would be helpful if we found the midpoint of B and C, right? That could be a helpful thing to go ahead and do. So let's do that. So what is, first of all, the midpoint of B and C? Well, let's see. Let's see. Midpoint of B and C. Well, that's going to be equal to the x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2, right? This is just generally how we find the midpoint. We find the average of the x values of the 2 points we're trying to find the midpoint of, and we find the average of the 2 y values, okay? So for this first one, we have 24 here, right? So 24, and then for C, we have -12. And then over here we have 7 and -5. And let's find the average. So here we're going to get 12 over 2. And here we're going to get 2 over 2. So then we're going to end up with 6, 1. So therefore, that's the midpoint. So now we want to know what's the equation of the line that connects that midpoint of BC with vertex A, right? Which we already know is -6, 33. Okay, so first thing we're going to do for that is we need to find the slope, right? Because every line consists of a slope and a y-intercept. And if we know the slope and we know a point on the line, which we already know 2 points on the line because we know the midpoint's on the line and point A is also on this line, we can find the y-intercept from that. So let's do that. Let's find the slope. Let's find the slope. Slope, just as a reminder, is delta y over delta x, or y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now, something I want to stress, though, is that this is not the same y2 and y1 that we used before for up here, or the same x2 and x1, right? Because we were finding the midpoint of points B and C, right? To find the median from point A to that midpoint, we need to find the slope from point A to the new point we found. Okay, so in this case, we're using 6, 1 and -6, 33, right? Because that was A. So we're not using the same x1 and y1 and x2 and y2 because now we're not finding the slope between B and C. We're finding the slope between A and the midpoint of B and C, which we just figured out, right? So just definitely keep that in mind. It's a common mistake I see students make where they will find the midpoint and also the slope for the same thing, and no, it's different, right? It's two different things we're doing there. Okay, so y2, let's see, this is going to be 1 minus 33, and then on the bottom we're going to have 6 minus negative 6. So we're going to end up with negative 32 over 12, which is negative 8 over 3 when reduced. Okay, so there we go. There's our slope from point A to that midpoint of B and C. Our slope is negative 8 over 3. Now it asked us to find the full equation, so how can we do that? Well, we need to find the y-intercept. We're missing our y-intercept. So we know that y is equal to mx, or in this case, negative 8 over 3x plus b. We also know that there's two different points we have for x and y on this line so far, right? One of them is A, and one of them is 6, comma 1, right? Because that's our midpoint of B and C. I'm going to actually use that one because it's easier, I think, but you can use either one. So we're going to sub in 6, 1. However, you could sub in negative 633 and you will get the same answer. I just think 6, 1 is easier because it's smaller numbers. So that's what I am going to choose to do today. So there we go. We sub that in. Okay, then we multiply across, and we're going to get 1 is equal to negative 16 plus b. So b is going to be 17. So therefore, we have our final answer now. Therefore, our final answer, or the median from vertex A is y equals negative 8 over 3x plus 17. And there we go. There's our final answer. And the nice thing about all these questions, they're the exact same, I promise you. So all you have to do is first you find the midpoint of the two opposite points. Then you find the slope between your new point and your original point. And then you just find the from there, you just plug in one of those points and you find the y-intercept, right? And that third step, by the way, that's something from grade 9, right? That's something we previously knew. And so there's kind of two new steps here for a lot of people, right? In previous curriculum, we haven't covered those first two steps yet. Step 3 is something that hopefully we already know how to do, or even if we're not 100% clear on that, it's something we've seen before and can probably pick up on a little bit quicker since we have seen that before in most cases. Very good. Very, very good. Okay, so let's do a little more practice here. Now we want to find the vertex of the median from vertex B from the triangle and then vertex C from the triangle. Okay, so I'm first going to actually just rewrite down what were A, B, and C because I have already forgotten. They were 24, 7, and then C was negative 12, negative 5. So let's do 2A first, where it says to find the equation of the median from vertex B to this triangle. So what's the first thing we need to do here? We need to find the midpoint from A to C, right? What is the midpoint of AC? What's that going to look like? Well, the midpoint of AC is going to be, let's see, negative 6 minus 12 over 2. And then over here, 33 minus 5 over 2, right? Because I took the x values. And for our new x value, we're going to add these up and divide by 2 to get the average of the x values. Then we're going to get the average of the y values over here for our new y value for our midpoint, right? So that's just a quick reminder of how we do find the midpoint there. Okay, so then let's figure it out a little bit further. Here we've got negative 18 over 2. Here we've got, looks like 28 over 2. So that's going to be negative 9, 14. And there we go. Awesome. So there we go. There's our midpoint. Okay, so that's step 1 already done. Step 2 is to find the slope from point B to this midpoint. Okay, so let's find the slope. The slope is going to be delta y over delta x, which is going to be Let's see. On the top, we're going to have 7 minus 14. And on the bottom, we're going to have 24 minus negative 9. Okay. And so what's the answer to that going to be? Let's see here. Negative 7 on top. And on the bottom, we've got 24 plus 9, which is 33. There we go. So negative 7 over 33 is our slope. Okay, so step 3 is what? Step 3 is we need to find the y-intercept. So we need to plug in one of the points that we know is here. So either negative 914 or 24,7 here. I'm going to do negative 914, but I can't stress this enough. It does not matter which one you choose in terms of whether or not you'll get the right answer. Either one will indeed give you the correct answer. Okay? All right. So in this case, y equals negative 7 over 33x plus b. And we're going to sub in negative 9, 14. So that means 14 equals negative 7, negative 9 over 33 plus b. And that means b is going to be... Actually, let's do a couple more steps first. We got 14 is equal to 9 times 7, which is 63 over 33, plus b. Let's grab a calculator here, make it a little bit simpler. We're going to get 1.9. So we're going to end up with b is equaling to 12.09. And there we have it. There's our answer. So therefore, the final equation is y equals negative 7 over 33 x plus 12.09. And there we go. There it is. All right, and let's go through all of these steps just one last time for median of vertex C, just to give a third example for this, and then we'll be done for the day for this lesson. This next one says, find the equation of the median from vertex C from this triangle. Okay, so what's the first thing we do? Well, we know the median is going to go from vertex C to the midpoint of AB. So we first need to find out what is the midpoint of AB, since that was not given in our question. So the midpoint of AB is equal to what? It's equal to negative 6 plus 24 over 2, 33 plus 7 over 2. That's going to be equal to 18 over 2, 40 over 2, which is equal to 920. There we go, 920. Awesome. Okay, so now we're going to find the slope, which is delta y over delta x. And again, this is the slope from the point C to the midpoint of A and B. So that's going to be that's going to be 20 minus the other one, and then 9 minus the other one. What were those other two numbers? Negative 12 and negative 5. So that's going to be 25 over 21, like that. And then we need to find the full equation, right? So y equals m, which is 25 over 21x plus b. And we're going to sub in one of the points we have. So either 920 or point C, whatever that was. I think it was negative 12, negative 5. And so let's sub that in. Okay. And then let's see, 25 times 9 is 225. Oh. So B is going to be about 9.3 approximately, or 9.29. Either one of those I think is fine. And so therefore, our final equation is y equals 25 over 21x plus 9.29. And there is our final answer. Very good. Yeah, so long story short, all the steps are the same for all of these, right? It's just we find the midpoint, we find the slope, and then we find the equation, right? And if we think about it, this is all stuff we know how to do. We know how to find the midpoint, we know how to find a slope, and we know how to find the y-intercept given that we know the slope and a point, right? We already know all these things. We're just kind of putting them all together in order to find the median, which is something we haven't done before previously necessarily. All right, well, good work today, everyone, and I will see everyone next time. Bye, everyone.